Hello Frugal fans, this is the Frugal Gamer, and I am reviewing my stats to save you cash, and today I'm going to be reviewing Friday the 13th for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, Friday the 13th is a survival horror video game that was published by LJN. It was developed by a Japanese video game developer, Atlus, for the Nintendo Entertainment System video game console. You can find this game, if you look around, used for under $5, and even less if you take time to search for it. Matter of fact, I believe you can find it sometimes at garage sales for $0.25 and things like that, and I have often found it for $1 or under. Even with that, you still may wonder, is it worth your money? Now, this game is an adaptation of the Friday the 13th movie franchise, and if you look at other reviews from critics, they've rated this game as one of the worst games for the NES system of all time. But I ask, is that a fair review? Now, I'm going to look at this game in two different ways. One, as a standalone game if it was not part of a movie franchise, and two, as it is part of the movie franchise. Just to try to give two different looks at it, if you will. Alright, so with that said, in this game, it's a typical summer at Camp Crystal Lake. You know, the days are bright and sunny, the nights are cold and clear, and of course, Jason Voorhees is on a rampage. It's up to you in this game to stop him. You must fight your way through forests filled with man-eating wolves, caves covered with blood-sucking zombie bats, and hordes of mindless zombies everywhere you turn. You must also help any friend who's in danger, or else you can kiss them goodbye. And hiding in cabins and things like that won't keep you safe. Jason can find you anywhere in this game. The only way to survive is to challenge Jason face-to-face in the game and kill him in cabins. Players control one of 6 camp counselors, as I showed at the beginning, and each one of those has different skill sets, if you will, such as levels of how fast they are, how fast they can row, and how high they can jump. The game is a side-scrolling perspective for the travel parts, and a 3D, like you see here, type of perspective, like you'd reminiscent of Punch-Out while you're in cabins. The counselors start with rocks as weapons, and the goal is to find and defeat, as I said, Jason Voorhees. But you have to not defeat him once, you have to defeat him 3 times. You'll go along paths, you'll find cabins and lakes and caves and wooded areas, with all pretty much everything having certain types of enemies that are going to be attacking the player. Players will upgrade their weapons upon finding new ones, and while you're playing, an alarm will go off, and it'll ring at certain intervals, requiring players to find Jason Voorhees before he kills one or more of the children or a counselor, whatever cabin he's in. You would then use your map and navigate your way to that cabin as quick as you can to take on Jason. If you don't make it there in time, he will kill the counselors or some or all the children. Now, upon nearing the location, if Jason just left a building or is on his way to another cabin, he may appear on your path and attack the player on a side-scrolling view. The player can also get a lighter, and they can light fireplaces inside the larger cabins, and by doing this, you can get like a torch weapon or a flashlight. Notes will be found in some of the larger cabins, leading the player to other notes in other locations, which will eventually lead you to get new, more powerful weapons, like the machete. You can also get weapons from while you're on travel to a knife and machete and things. Once again, the objective of this game is to survive for 3 days and 3 nights, taking out Jason Voorhees. You could also, while you're playing, find Jason Voorhees' mother, who is locked hidden in a cave, and she's shown like a Medusa-like flying head that'll swoop down and attack the player. The game is, as I said, overall an interesting thing, so let's look at it. If you navigate the woods or a cave in this game, it can be very tedious and confusing, as they're set up to purposely disorient the player. And then on top of that, while you're searching, all of a sudden the alarm may go off, and you have to try to hurry up and find your way out in order to save the kids or a counselor. Because if all the counselors or children die, the game is over. So let's look at some of the pros and cons. Well, first, Jason Voorhees, let's be honest, he's a cool character. You get to be at Camp Crystal Lake. And each of the 6 counselors are different in skills, such as speed and jumping ability. Now, with that said, let's look at some of the negatives. The graphics and visuals and things like that are lazy. The cabins are pretty much all the same, with just different color walls. The music is repetitive and tedious. The controls, to be honest, are mediocre at best. The game really is repetitive, and doesn't bring anything new each time you play through each day to take out Jason Voorhees. The game has somewhat poor fight mechanics. Punch-Out was way better. Jason does not kill kids, first of all. So if we were comparing this to the movie, Jason Voorhees never killed children. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons he had his rage. He was killing counselors because they weren't paying attention to the kids. It makes no sense at all for Jason Voorhees to kill kids. So, if you use this as a game as a standalone, not attached to the movie, it's probably decent at best. But if you compare it to the movie, there's a lot of problems. First of all, there was no zombies and things, and I know that was just thrown in to make it more entertaining, but come on, it doesn't make sense. So overall, the game's decent at best and annoying and repetitive. If you take the game alone without the story, as I said, it may be decent at best. If you consider the story in the game, it doesn't make sense. Jason doesn't kill kids. His mother attacks you as a flying head, for crying out loud, which doesn't make any sense. You fight zombies. Why? I'm sure they were just there and intended to keep you game having action and keep you busy, but they do very little to help. So unless you're a big fan of the movies of Friday the 13th, you may want to skip this one. If you're a movie fanatic, you might want to buy it, but be warned, it'll probably cause you more frustration than fun. Well, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video, so please hit like and subscribe, and help me continue supporting my channel. Until then, keep it frugal.